AITA for calling him a fucking embarrassment. I've been seeing my fiance for 4 years now, and I came into the relationship with 2 boys. My boys are now 12 and 9. Once a year me and the boys go to my family's vacation home with the entire family, and up until this year, my fiance did not attend. But now that we are engaged and merging families, the family asked that he come too. They all get along great with him anyways. I explained to him prior to us coming to our family retreat that during our week stay with the family, my kids do not have a bedtime. We do a lot of night activities, such as night swimming in the pool, karaoke, fires, nightly strolls through the neighborhood, etc. etc. So during this week, my kids absolutely do not have a bedtime, and this is how it has always been. I made it clear that bedtime was not to be enforced like it was at home, because this is vacation and time with family, and I'm not making my kids miss out on the nightly activities. I also explained that due to this, some nights they are up until easily 11 midnight. It's once a year, it's no big deal. So he was fully aware, and please note that this is the only time I've seen this side of him that I will mention below. We get here the first night and you can tell he is already uncomfortable with the boys staying up past their bedtime. He was stressing out because the boys were still in the pool at 10 p.m. and he felt they should be in bed already. I reminded him at least twice that we were not enforcing a bedtime here, and he let it go the first night. The second night 9 p.m. rolls around and the boys were still up, and my fiance was dropping comments like, "You're lucky you're even still awake right now, you should be in bed." Saying it right in front of my mom, who looked mortified that he had such an attitude. I told him to cut the fucking shit, in private. He tells me he thinks it's fucked up and that it's going to be terrible trying to get them back on their schedule, never been an issue in the years prior. I stood firm and told him to knock it off and let it go. But then last night my fiance starts angry, sighing every single time he looks at my kids still awake, and I finally pulled him aside and told him he was a fucking embarrassment because he keeps saying these comments in front of my family, which leads to awkward silences and judgmental glances my way. I warned him prior to coming here, and if he had an issue that he can't control for a week, then he needs to leave because he's ruining our trip with his passive-aggressive BS surrounding a bedtime. He told me I'm an R for making him feel like garbage over wanting to keep the kids on a schedule because it's best for them. AITA.
NTA. He's not concerned about the kids keeping a schedule, he's concerned about maintaining control. When someone shows you red flags, believe them.
NTA. You told him what the traditions and schedules were for this schedule, which are not unreasonable. Fiance was being rude and controlling by trying to impose his opinion on you all, especially as it was his first time attending. Is he often this forceful with his opinions?
NTA. And please reassure your kids they've done nothing wrong. They'll be picking up on all the looks and comments. He's building a big wedge between him and them.
NTA. Your kids, your family, your tradition. This might be the first time he's showing it, but I would be concerned that it comes out more and more after you tie the knot. You two need to have a serious conversation about it, because that is a red flag. It screams controlling behavior.
Not usually, no. He will usually pull me aside in private and express concern, and we work through it together. But this time around he is just trampling his way through like he should be the decision maker.
NTA. Red flags, red flags, red flags.
NTA. I know you said this behavior is not his usual, but I would say that this is a prediction of the future with has an opinion that differs from yours. He doesn't have to agree with you, but he does have to respect your decisions. He doesn't respect you and can't control himself. He made a fool of himself and openly showed his disdain to your entire rethink your relationship. Things may have been smooth in the past because a situation where you disagree has likely never been an issue.
Because he's being watched by your family. He's establishing that he's the authority. WOWOWOW. Op. When people show you who they are, please believe them. NTA.
NTA. His reaction to this seems so disproportionate. Your children staying up late on holiday is normal, and you've done it before with no issues. For someone who had never been on holiday with you before, he seems to strongly believe he knows what's best, which is worrying. By trying to micromanage bedtimes, he's also micromanaging everyone else's holiday. I hope he's not this controlling in other aspects of your life. What's he going to be like when your children are teenagers and want to stay out late?
NTA, the mask is slipping.
NTA location flag controlling behavior location flag.
NTA, is this the first time that the power dynamic has completely shifted to you? You're in your home court now. It's your rules, your dynamic, your family. You have all the power. Most people this isn't an issue at all. It's barely notable or noticeable. But this guy clearly simply can't handle the fact that he's not in charge here. It's eating at him to the point of irritability. I'm sorry, but this is him showing you who he really is. Reflect on this. Where else have you clearly seen his control issues but you dismissed it? They're there, all around. Thanks for the awards. I'm humbled.
Excellent point. And let me add, from personal experience, the dynamic can really change after the wedding. 40 years ago, I went from having a mom and her fun boyfriend to a mom and a stepdad who thought he had to become a parent overnight. How will he deal with adjusting schedules as their kids age? If he's already acting like this, I really wonder how he will be with the added level of to add. Holy f***. I read more of Op's comments, and he's all bad news, no bears. Controlling clothing. Already expressing different parenting views.
I just read your replies. Here's my question. Why are you still with him? Once you marry him, those kids' life will be, and it will be your fault. When someone shows you their true them isn't from the word go. Telling your kids they have to ask to access to the fridge? In your own home? Come on.
NTA 1. They are not his kids too. Does he even like them? 3. What other red flags can you recall?
This is not a good sign for your future nuptials. Take a long hard look at his actions right now, trying to establish dominance with your family, watching with only a temporary ring on your finger. What is his personality going to be like once the forever ring is on and he suddenly thinks he is the man of the house and tries to override all your decisions? It's time for a serious conversation about what he thinks he's going to be doing when the wedding all said and done.
He has shown you who he is, a controlling that can't handle not having complete control and authority over your children. Run. This is the kind of person who will abuse your kids to keep them under his thumb. As a parent, you need to protect your kids and dump this. You are severely underreacting here.
4. Why does he care so much about bedtimes? 5. How has he been with them during the days? 6. Is he always this controlling with them in everyday life?
This is a critical point. Op says she never has seen this side of him before. She probably has, but just didn't recognize it for what it was at the time. She needs to do a serious review of their time together and see how many times she has given in, or gone along, with his wishes to keep the peace. Because once the ring is on her finger, all bets will be off. Seen this story one too many times. Thank you, Evolving Wren and Kind Stranger, for the awards. Smile.
NTA, and I hate saying this, but this might be a chance to learn. Mentioned that he gets along great with your family generally and has just never been on this exact annual trip before. You didn't mention who that family includes. If it includes a father or brother, Bill would work in a pinch. Have them pull him aside and explain that it's more relaxed here. Now, ideally, your family member will be decent enough to feel a little gross and weird about the implications here. My dad and brother sure would, but that's not actually the thing we're trying to learn. We're trying to learn if he heeds the advice of a male family member over yours. If he's suddenly much more fine with it having heard it from a fellow family patriarch, you've learned what you need to know. If he doubles down on bedtime and gets angry that your family would dare meddle on your marriage, well, you've also learned what you need to. Luck 2 hearts edit. There are of course many outcomes. It's just that those 2 are the especially interesting ones.
Yeah, if she hadn't realized, perhaps subconsciously, that this could be an issue, she wouldn't have made it a point to explain the no bedtime on vacation thing to him so many times.
Yep, this is who this guy really is.
When someone tells you who they are, believe them the first time.
Also, the kids are 9 and 12, not 3 to 5 years of age. I mean, come on. I think the larger issue is how he is treating her and his expectations after being told explicitly what was going to happen.
The fact that she felt the need to reiterate it more than once before vacation tells me there were already red flags around her decisions as primary parent. But holy cow, 9 o'clock bedtime for a 12-year-old, on vacation. Good lord.
Is showing that he has different parenting expectations, and that he expects his opinion to hold as much weight, or more weight than the actual thinks he knows better than her. What's best for her is why I'm a fan of long engagements when there's children involved. Things shake out slowly.
By working through it together, I'm assuming you mean that he makes his opinions on raising your children known, and you adjust to make him feel heard. And now he's showing you that if you had ever pushed back and told him no, we're not doing it that way, he wouldn't have accepted that. He has been in control this whole time, he's just been doing it through puppeteering. Please get your children away from him before their teen years, who knows what he will do trying to maintain control over them. NTA.
I'm totally going to incorporate all bad news, no bears, into daily conversation.
I caught that too. If this behavior is really out of left field, she would have mentioned it once then moved on. Seems like she knew she really needed to emphasize the point ahead of time.
You felt the need to reiterate to him multiple times, very clearly, that bedtimes aren't routine on vacation. Are you sure there wasn't a little voice in the back of your mind telling you he was likely to be really bothered by this? It seems a little atypical to need to remind a partner repeatedly of what is a pretty benign, expected change of routine on vacation. I'm wondering if maybe he has displayed some concerning behavior in the past that you were able to rationalize vs noticing the red flags?
Agreed. Consider this incident a gift. You can see the future in your vacation trip. I know it does not seem like a gift now, but think on all that happened.
Same.
Yep, I think it's just controlling too. Like I need to see some evidence that the no bedtime on vacation thing is a problem. Op literally said they adjust without an issue when they return and understand it's just a vacation thing, so why is the fiancé so pressed? He has zero evidence it's harming them but is pretending that's his focus. Now if the kids were a mess for weeks afterward, and some would be, sure he might have a point. Also, do 12 yos really need a super strict bedtime anyway? Is dude going to be trying to enforce a bedtime when they're teens? I'd be real cautious about moving forward if I were op. So hard to learn this lesson, but it's so true. Every time a guy has told me he's a and I shouldn't date him, turns out he was a I shouldn't have dated.
I was thinking this too. She already knew in her heart he was going to be a stickler for bedtime even though they were on vacation. Make you question how much he is pushing it at home. He is probably the type that he doesn't want to see these kids after 8 p.m.
I was thinking the same. I can't imagine having to talk to him multiple times about it unless she expected it to be an issue. I dated my husband as a single parent for 6 years before we got married. Something like, we don't adhere to bedtimes during vacation, wouldn't even be a topic prior to going. I can't even see him feeling the need to comment on my child's bedtime during a vacation, and we did take multiple trips with my family and she was often up later than normal.